There are mysteries sealed beneath layers of icy cold. There are creatures that have never seen the light of day. And in the farthest reaches of the earth, in the Ross Sea, a silent warning has emerged. In 2014, during a scientific expedition to the Ross Sea, the deepest and coldest waters of Antarctica, researchers discovered something no one could have expected: a black sea devilfish found inside the stomach of an Antarctic toothfish. This is a creature known only to exist at depths of thousands of meters, where the pressure can crush metal and light does not exist. That discovery was once thought to be a rare anomaly.
Antarctica, once considered the most motionless, silent, and pristine land on the planet, is fracturing. The eternal ice sheets, once home to millions of creatures like emperor penguins, are crumbling layer by layer. Ice fields that stood firm for millions of years now drift upon the waves, leaving behind bottomless, dark voids. The permafrost, a vital breeding ground for emperor penguins, is beginning to subside and disintegrate. Massive icebergs drift across the frozen ocean, revealing secrets buried for thousands of years. The Ross Sea is awakening a world that humanity has only just begun to touch.
Are you ready? Welcome to Antarctica, the most mysterious place on Earth.
When the Black Sea Devil rose from the depths, it was thought to be just a rare anomaly. But then, everything began to shift all at once. And now, the coldest continent on Earth is on high alert. Antarctica is no longer still. In the past 25 years, more than 3 trillion tons of ice have silently melted away, retreating like an uncontrollable underground river. Ancient icebergs, which had remained motionless for millions of years, now drift across the ocean, revealing land once buried beneath eternal frost.
The average temperature has risen nearly 3 degrees Celsius in just 50 years, a seemingly small number, yet enough to alter the entire life cycle of a whole continent. Species once adapted to absolute cold now face the choice: adapt to an unfamiliar environment or disappear entirely. And then, something no one expected appeared. Microplastics, tiny fragments of man-made material, have infiltrated even the creatures living beneath Antarctica's ice. Jellyfish swim through melting ice, plankton drift in frigid waters, all bearing traces of a world far beyond.
When flowers began to bloom on the coldest land on Earth, people thought it was a miracle. But no, this is no fairy tale. This is the consequence of the scorching heat now knocking at the ends of the world. In Antarctica, where in the past, grass would grow in nature's slow motion, now everything has switched to turbo mode. Antarctic hairgrass is growing 25 times faster, and pearlwood is spreading as if it just signed a deal to open a chain of convenience stores. But the truth is, nothing about this is convenient. And the cruel irony is, flowers are blooming amidst melting ice. But this isn't some romantic scene from a love story. It's living proof of an unpredictable transformation sweeping across this entire continent.
In a place so cold that mist can freeze in midair, there exists a creature with no fur coat, no snow-covered shelter, yet it stands tall amidst the howling blizzards. That creature is none other than the emperor penguin, the ultimate survival warriors of the far south. As the largest penguin species on Earth, emperor penguins, Aptenodytes forsteri, can reach up to 1.2 meters tall and weigh up to 40 kilograms. But what makes them the living symbol of Antarctic endurance isn't their size, it's the most insane breeding journey on the planet.
While the mother penguin breaks through ice and swims hundreds of kilometers to hunt for food, the father penguin stays completely still, eating nothing, waiting for the chick to hatch, and keeping it warm with his ultimate fatherly instinct. The father becomes the guardian of the egg, placing it between his feet and warming it with a special flap of belly skin called a brood pouch. For 65 days, he does not eat, standing motionless, enduring the freezing cold and hunger in total darkness, waiting for the egg to hatch. And just as the chick is born, the mother returns like a miracle, carrying predigested food from the distant
100 meters, far beyond the reach of any human diver. Beneath the thick ice, they hunt for schools of small fish and krill, tiny creatures that hold the key to their survival. Using no bait or trap, they stalk their prey, accelerate, and launch into the school like a feathered torpedo, catching their target with a single, precise peck.
But the frozen sea is not just a supermarket, it's a battlefield of life and death. Hiding in the shadows beneath the ice, the leopard seal lies in wait. With dagger-like fangs, a single strike can end any journey, and if the chicks haven't yet learned to swim, they become breakfast for one of Antarctica's coldest, most ruthless hunters.
But now everything is being turned upside down. Climate change has caused the average temperature in Antarctica to rise by nearly 3 degrees Celsius in just 50 years, leading to early sea ice melt and destabilizing the breeding grounds of emperor penguins. Thousands of eggs have fallen into the icy waters and could not survive. According to a new study published in 2024, if this trend continues, 65% of emperor penguin colonies could disappear before the year 2100.
In the frozen ocean at the end of the world, where the wind whistles through every crack in the ice and the sea lies in absolute silence, there exists a creature that quietly observes. It makes no sound, leaves no trace. But when it appears, the water itself seems to stop breathing. It is the leopard seal, the silent phantom of Antarctica. With a body as fluid as a flowing current, it darts beneath the ice like a streak of frozen lightning. Its eyes, sharp as lasers, scan even the slightest movement above. One swift swim, one sharp twist, and the prey has no chance to react.
Weighing up to 600 kilograms and growing to over 3.5 meters in length, the leopard seal is one of the apex predators of the Antarctic Ocean. Its sleek, muscular body is designed for endurance and speed, allowing it to swim at speeds of up to 37 kilometers per hour and dive to depths of up to 300 meters, holding its breath for more than 15 minutes as it stalks prey beneath the ice. This formidable predator performs a silent ritual of patrolling the icy dome every day, weaving through cracks and holes in the ice, looking for signs of movement. Its diet is varied and ruthless, from soft krill, which it sifts through its tight molars, to agile fish and even penguin chicks, which it captures in its bone-crushing jaws.
As the Antarctic Sea glows under the 24-hour sun, amid the chilly mist and the silent icebergs, a deep echo reverberates from the depths of the ocean. The giant shadow begins to move. And biological waves spread like warning bells. The giant is back. It is the humpback whale, the master of sound, the architect of bubbles, and the ecological backbone of the coldest sea on the planet. Each year, they travel up to 8,000 kilometers from the tropics, across the fierce oceans, only to return to Antarctica where the greatest feast of all life takes place.
In these icy waters, humpback whales, a veritable giant of the Southern Ocean, employ a bizarre but surprisingly effective hunting strategy, creating bubble nets to trap vast schools of Antarctic krill in an inescapable vortex. Weighing up to 30 to 40 tons and measuring 12 to 16 meters in length, humpback whales are not only one of the largest marine mammals, but also one of the most intelligent hunters in these frigid waters. The hunt begins with a coordinated dance. Humpback whales, often working in groups, dive deep beneath a dense school of krill. Then one or more individuals swim in an upward spiral, releasing streams of bubbles from their blowholes. These bubbles form vertical walls that rise to the surface, forming a glistening circular net that traps the krill in a tight ball. As the krill panicked and huddled together, the whale positioned itself below, timing itself perfectly. With a burst of power, it surged from the depths, its enormous mouth gaping wide like a dark cave. In one mighty swallow, millions of tiny plankton were swallowed, stretched across the baleen plates that filtered food while expelling seawater.
But that's not all. Whale poop, which is thought to be a little-noticed item, contains valuable iron and minerals that help phytoplankton grow, sucking carbon from the atmosphere and regenerating life in the ocean. The presence of humpback whales is quietly keeping the Antarctic food chain from collapsing, from krill, to seabirds, to other apex predators.
They used to be the giants who surfed like supermodels on the catwalk of the sea. But now, the great symbol of the ocean, the humpback whale, is playing a game of survival that is not very happy. On one side, microplastics quietly creep into the daily menu. On the other side, fishing nets as big as the sky lurking under the waves. And as if the universe were not dramatic enough, climate change has thrown a twist that has caused migration to go astray. The water is warmer, the ice is thinner, and the whales keep swimming, but the future seems to be slipping away.
A place so cold that if you accidentally drop a loaf of bread, you might find it frozen forever and preserved along with the history of the Earth. This place, which seems to be covered in nothing but ice and snow, is hiding secrets that give modern science goosebumps. On the surface, this is the coldest place on Earth. The temperature is so low that if you sneeze, you might have to wait until next season to hear an echo. But don't let the 4.8 kilometers thick layer of ice fool you, because underneath it lies an ancient world, where giant mountain ranges, underground lakes that have never seen light, and valleys buried for millions of years are silently waiting to be discovered.
It's hard to believe, but once upon a time, this land was a warm, dense forest, where trees grew taller than summer thermometers and dinosaurs roamed around without wearing thermals. And then, the Earth changed. Cold ocean currents began to wrap around the continent, isolating it from the rest of the world, as if the planet had decided to keep some icy treasure for itself. Whatever it is, Antarctica is not only the coldest place, but also the most alive, in a way no one expected. An epic of ice written in time. Ice, and things no one has ever seen.
Don't let size fool you. In the depths of the Antarctic Ocean, where whales dive hundreds of meters deep, penguins dart like arrows and seals strike with ferocious hunger. It all starts with a creature so small you need a microscope to see it. Phytoplankton are tiny photosynthetic machines that absorb CO2 and produce oxygen, acting as the first door to the entire underwater chain of survival. But the greatness doesn't stop there. From the hazy light under the ice emerges an army of tiny crustaceans called krill. They are the biological gas station for the entire icy sea, feeding fish, birds, whales, seals, and creatures you've never heard of.
They are not whales, nor are they cold-blooded killers. But ask any creature in Antarctica, and they will say, if you hear the call under the ice, hide. Orca has arrived. Beneath the frozen water, amid the bone-chilling waves, the killer whale, also known as orca, is the top of the food chain in Antarctica. Measuring up to 9 meters long, weighing more than 6 tons, and possessing extraordinary intelligence, this animal is the embodiment of unimaginable tactics, strength, and coordination. They live in herds with complex social structures, with a separate language system and the ability to pass on hunting skills through many generations.
Killer whales are the ocean's apex predators, masters of intelligent, coordinated hunting that strike fear into the hearts of even the fiercest sea creatures. Their signature hunting strategy is a display of teamwork and terrifying precision, using waves, deception, and calculated strikes to bring down prey much larger or faster than themselves. Killer whales are very social, hunting in pods of up to 40 individuals, each member playing a specific role in their complex attacks. In the icy waters of Antarctica, their most famous technique is called wave washing. When targeting seals resting on ice floes, a pod of killer whales will spot their prey and begin swimming in circles. Then, synchronized like a military unit, they dive under the ice and create powerful waves, coordinating their massive tails and swimming in unison. These waves crash into the ice, weakening or even breaking it, forcing the seals into the water, where the killer whales live. Once in the water, the seals are under their control. The killer whales take turns lunging, striking with great force, targeting the seals' weak points, usually their undersides or heads. The attacks are swift, brutal, and almost always successful. Killer whales also hunt larger animals, including great white sharks, and this is where their true intelligence shines. When hunting sharks, killer whales use a precise technique. They flip the shark upside down, inducing a state called catatonic immobility, which paralyzes the shark. Then, with surgical precision, they rip open the shark's abdomen to remove its liver, a nutrient-rich organ that they seem to particularly crave, Even the great white whale, known as the terror of the sea, will abandon its hunting grounds when killer whales are nearby and feel that it is no longer the hunter but the prey.
Killer whale reproduction is slow but extremely special. Females only give birth to about one calf every 3 to 10 years, with a gestation period of nearly 18 months. The babies are raised in the protective care of the whole pod, a tight matriarchal society rare in the marine animal world.
On the other side of the beach, the furry giants engage in a fierce battle without fanfare. Don't let their bulky appearance fool you. Male elephant seals can weigh up to 4 tons, and when they charge at each other to compete for territory and a mate, the ice shakes like an earthquake. The battles are loud, sweaty and drooling, and are an indispensable ritual to confirm who is the king of the beach during breeding season.
Are you brave enough to cross the most dangerous waters on the planet just to see a strange light from the end of the world? Every journey to Antarctica begins with a daring decision. Board a small boat from Argentina or Chile and plunge into the Drake Passage, where waves as high as 15 meters can take even the most seasoned captain's breath away. But if you make it through, the reward is a world of white, pristine, almost surreal, where time seems to stand still amid ice and creatures that seem to come from another planet.
A step into Antarctica is a step into the unknown, where everything you see could be a clue to the origins of life or a warning about the future of Earth. And on that journey, you are not just a tourist, but a witness to a world that is changing every day. In the coldest land on Earth, where temperatures can drop to -80 degrees Celsius and winds are strong enough to knock over any equipment, there exist incredibly modern scientific fortresses: America's McMurdo, Australia's Davis, and New Zealand's Scott. These seemingly ordinary names are where scientists touch the history of the planet, from million-year-old ice samples to microscopic traces of life.
This is not only a place to analyze the climate, monitor the ozone layer, but also a natural laboratory to search for clues about extraterrestrial life. Yes, you heard correctly, under the Antarctic ice layer, primitive life may be hidden, like on Mars or icy moons. And who knows? One day, the answer to the universe will come from the very place where ice and snow seem to be only for penguins and howling winds. But that's not all. Frozen underground rivers, lakes that never see the sun, have become ideal places to study the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Microorganisms that survive in the harshest conditions here are perfect models for searching for life on Mars or icy moons like Europa.
At the edge of the Earth, once thought inviolable, cracks are emerging as ice melts, ecosystems are disrupted, and iconic species disappear. While the 1961 Antarctic Treaty and marine reserves are trying to preserve the icy landscape, will that be enough to reverse the trend? As ocean currents warm, air pollution spreads, and fishing boats breach protected boundaries, Antarctica is no longer a story for science, but a wake-up call for humanity.
Are we witnessing a miraculous revival? Or is this the final farewell to this frozen world? What do you think of the changes happening at the ends of the Earth? Does Antarctica stand a chance if we don't act now?